Hello and what is up, guys? Right here and welcome back to some more Gearcity. It's been a few months since I played Gearcity last. We're back here, of course, with Maven Motors, which is my car company. If you guys don't know what Gearcity is, it is a car company tycoon game. It's like automation, except it's more on the tycoon side of things than the beautiful design kind of things in automation. So we're here with Maven Motors, my car company. We've actually got a few car companies, but Maven Motors is the main car company. And what we're doing today is building a new generation of vehicles for the company. We're going to go through the 70s and see if we can make some cool 70s cars. In particular, we are making new models for the Harriet brand and for the Blackwood brand. The Blackwood brand is our luxury brand and the Harriet brand is our sporty brand. So we're making some sporty cars, some very fast cars, and also some very luxurious cars as well. The big goal today is making the fastest production car of all time. So currently, the fastest production car, if we go click this magazine, we can see the top specs of any of the top cars ever. The best, or the fastest production car ever, is the 1969 Twin V8202. It's a weird name for a supercar, but you know what? It's a name that it has, okay? Top speed, 206 miles per hour. We gotta beat that today. Maybe we can get under 4 seconds to 60 as well. The current fastest accelerating car is our car, the Harriet Grand Coupe S+, 4.3 seconds to 60 miles an hour. So let's go ahead, go to our showroom and see some of our past vehicles. The current cars we have in the Harriet and Blackwood lineup are the Harriet Classic. Looks kind of weird in this lighting for sure. It looks very shiny and glossy and shadowy, but okay. That can do 170 miles an hour. This can do 196 miles an hour, so it's actually already one of the fastest cars ever. This has got a 7.2-liter V8 engine, which is pretty gosh darn massive. We also have the Harriet GTS 440, the 484, and the 484 with a 7.9-liter V8, 560 horsepower, so more horsepower than the Classic. The Classic's more of just like a K&RM competitor, a very stripped-out lightweight sports car. We also are making a new Blackwood vehicle, new Blackwood vehicles. So we've got the Coaster, which is our sedan. I think it's a full-size sedan. We've got the Continental, which is our big boy sedan. We got the Marshall, which is a mid-size sedan. So we got a compact sedan, a mid-sized, and a full-size sedan. That thing has up to 460 horsepower, which is pretty beefy, and the lowest one is 190 horsepower, which is very cute. It's very adorable. They are good selling vehicles. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So if you go here, we're going to modify some engines, but first I want to actually make sure we have decent design skills. I want to actually put some money now, as much money as we can, into research. So I did a bit of testing in my other games that I played before I was recording. We're going to log percentage here, and we're going to go apply. We're going to have max research spending on chassis development, engine development, and gearbox development. Now, we can't actually unlock any more gearboxes at all, or any more, or very much more chassis. We've got quite a bit more engines to unlock still, but I want to increase our design skill. Now, this gives us a lot better like stats for our engines and stuff, so we want to make sure we get those numbers quite high. The chassis design is quite fine. The gearboxes are pretty good. The engine design is quite bad, so we want to upgrade that as much as we can. So we need to go here, modify engines. We're going to make new generations of the Starfire, which is our luxury and performance-oriented engines. We got a 3.2-liter, 4.6, 6.1, 7.2, and we have a 5.8 and a 7.9. So let's modify the Starfire 195. Let's make another Starfire 195 engine. Let's just get rid of this. So performance. So right now, if we just leave it default with all of our new technologies involved, it can make 220 horse instead of 190, which is decent. The engine costs 570, where the old one costed 390. I don't know if I want that, though. That's a big bump in price. Make it so the completion for the R&D is a little less. Makes 250 torque, so it's actually making more torque. Let's give it 255 torque. Let's lower the horsepower down to like 200 horse. Because 200 horsepower seems more than reasonable in 1970. It seems like actually too much. Remember, though, Blackwood is quite a luxurious brand. Their smallest engine is a 3.2-liter, which is quite large. Let's go ahead and let's do let's just call it like the S195. This is like the S or like the next generation, because you can't have engines called the same name. So yeah, we are trimming the engines down by a bit. So it's actually going from a 5.8 to a 6.1, but a big increase of horsepower, a little bit of an increase in torque, a slight decrease in MPG. Now the last engine is going to be the 440, which is our big engine. 540 horse or 550 horse. We got to beat that, though. We got to beat that. This one makes 560. MPG doesn't really matter as much. Let's go for like 590 horsepower, which is a lot of horsepower. This would be the Starfire 440, the A440. And there we go. Easy. Maybe we'll make it smaller, like the engine. So let's look at size here. Let's try to make our packaging smaller. So that's 39 inches in length, 32 inches width is the max. Let's just try to make this thing a little bit smaller if we change the width and the length here. So 39. And we'll leave the width quite big as well. The engine's going to cost more, but it's going to weigh quite a bit less. So the 372 and the 440, they weigh pretty much the exact same. The 440 is actually lighter, but it's got way more horsepower, it's a bigger engine, etc. So I think we're good. It's the only dual overhead cam engine we have. We used to have a couple actually, but I think we're fine. The engines go from 550 to 3000. Okay, pretty much the same in the chassis. It really doesn't matter because that's fine. Save the game because it might crash on us at any time because the game likes to crash a bit. We're going to hop ahead, jump 11 months. We are going to probably construct new factories at some point and keep expanding our sales area. Right now we only sell in Europe and North America. We're selling in Russia. We could sell in South America soon as well. We've got a factory opening in Korea in 17 months. We're selling in China. We're selling in Asia, actually. Okay, interesting. We're losing money, though, in South Korea due to mostly transportation costs, because we've got a factory being built in about a year. We've got a factory in Taipei. So I think overall we're pretty good. How much cars do we sell here? We make 1,000 cars. Okay, there's only 2 companies that sell cars in Taipei, Taiwan. So we got Maven and Heiho, which is like a Hyundai. And I think we're the bigger seller, to be honest. We're the bigger brand. We're going to be expanding into Asia a fair bit more, I think. What if we open a factory in Indonesia? So for a 10 line factory, it's going to cost us 70 million, 60. So Japan is pretty much the same price as other places. It's cheaper. It's one of the cheaper ones, second cheapest one, but it's actually going to be better. Let's open up a 20 line factory in Japan. Fast forward 11 months, and then we'll start designing our cars. So it's been a year. It's 1971. Sales are going pretty decently. The Maxi's our best seller currently. The best seller of our luxury brand seems to be the Blackwood Coaster, which is our full-size sedan, or our regular sedan, actually. The Maximus is our full-size sedan. The Coaster is doing quite good. What else? The Marshall is doing decent as well. But yeah, Blackwood and Harriet don't really sell nearly as much as Maven does. But our supercar is very well selling. We're selling about 200, 300 supercars a month, which is absolutely insane. If we go to this map, we can see who controls certain markets. And Maven, my company, or Harriet in particular, sells 95%. I don't know, Maven does. Maven sells 95% of all supercars in the world, which is hilarious. So this game is kind of weird in the sense that sometimes once you start dominating a market a lot, the AI doesn't sell or doesn't make cars for it because it's not going to sell much of them. So once we control like one market, the AI sort of just says, nope, we're going to let you have this market, and kind of nopes out. We're doing very, very poorly in the subcompact market. That's something I'll try to fix with the next Maven generation. We're going to go through everything as much as we can, obviously. We're going to start with the cheapest black. No, let's start with Harriet, actually. Harriet's cooler. The Classic is very easy. We're going to give it a new H-Series chassis. We're going to give it 2 engines. We want to give it probably what, the inline 6 and the V8. What did the old one have? The old Classic had, the old Classic. It's got either 270 or 460 horse. So we're going to have a similar one. So let's go for 280 and let's go for 450 horse. So similar power. So a 2.8 liter, or no, 280 cubic inch straight 6 with a 3-speed automatic. Very sacrilegious, I know, but it's gonna be cheap. It's a classic. It's an old style vehicle here. The old Classic 0 to 60 was 6.1. It had the speed shift. This has got the sport shift. Maybe I'll change that. We'll change that. Let's go back to the Classic. Give it the H. Give it the 280. And give it the speed shift. The speed shift is very expensive though. So 0 to 60 under 6 seconds, which is obviously pretty good. So 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds, which is pretty much the same as the previous one. There's not too much changes with this car. It's not really any faster than the previous generation. It's sort of just moving on, which is an upgrade. It's got 16 mpg though, which is okay. The old one had 13 mpg, which is very important. Actually, it's actually a bit faster. Okay, it's actually like a third of a second faster. Not bad. An increase of mpg as well. And the other model is increased of like, what, 1 mpg? Oh, 1 mpg, that's not bad. That's actually not bad. The Classic S, there we go. Let's go ahead And we're going to make a Harriet Supercar now. Let's just go for a new generation of the Super Sport SP. And we're going to make it a new generation of the top end. We're going to make the top end one going to be the Harriet car. We're going to give it that. We're going to give it the Starfire, the A440 engine, 600 horsepower, and a 5-speed manual. I don't want to use this body, though. Its top speed is just not good enough. Let's see what I have pre-designed. Okay, I have that. Let's just see like what generic shapes. So I have developed this shape. Oh yeah, I've used this shape actually. We are probably going to use this one just as default because I actually really like this shape. I've got two of them. I got that one, that one. Where's the alt? Where's Alton? That one, that one, that one, that one. This one. This is my land speed record car. I love that. There's a huge wing on it. I think that's more of a newer car. Let's give it this one. We got this classic shape here looking. It's not perfectly designed. It's pretty simple, but we'll use that one just as a default. We'll design the other cars, but we'll use this one. Now this car can do 207 miles an hour, beating the previous car by 1 mile an hour, which is pretty good. Not bad. For the ultra wealthy, give it higher demographic testing and component quality. Let's bring it down to 2 years as well. This is going to cost $30 million for a supercar. It's not going to sell very well, but whatever. The Harriet, not the Super Sport, not the SP. Now, let me know in the comments down below some names for a Harriet supercar. I know it's hard to come up with these names, to be honest. It's hard to come up with these names. I don't really have any Harriet brand name. We could try the Champion. No, that's a name in my Harriet stable. It doesn't work. Okay. How about, like, the Champions? The Harriet Champions? The Champions, sure. Harriet Champions, it's the Champion car. So, 207 miles an hour top speed. Let's actually go ahead and back to the ledger here. And now, it is officially the top speed record car in production. It's going to be in production, but it's been in development. It's also the fastest accelerating car, under 4 seconds to 60. It's basically like a Ferrari, an F40 Ferrari. But before the F40 actually existed, which is actually pretty dark. It's a F40 Ferrari? Pretty much a Ferrari F40, but better in, like, every way. It's actually only rear-wheel drive, though, which is crazy. But it's got the highest horsepower of any car ever, which is great. The best here is 60 and the best top speed, so it's definitely a good performance car. Let's go ahead and modify the other Harriet car, which is going to be the GTS. This is our sports car. Using the H series again. Let's use a couple engines. Let's use all V8s. I think I used all V8s, right? Yep. Look at that. That's not bad. Let's call it 70s GT. Look at that. That is cool looking. I like that. Let's just call it the Turismo, actually. Not the Gran Turismo, just the Turismo. Not the Grand Touring, but the Turismo. I like that. The Harriet Turismo. 5.7 to 60 is pretty good for a base model. Let's go to the 372. And a 5-speed manual. Let's call it the Turismo S. They don't really make much Harriets, so they're going to be called S for the trim. Give it a bigger boot. Better utility. Or better increased demographic. Lower the safety a little bit. Increase styling. 180 miles an hour. Seems pretty reasonable. Increase the interior quality, though. There we go. The S, everyone called the S. The SS? I don't know. The S, this is called like the, what was the other one called? So that was just called the R. It's the S. So we'll call this one the 480. The S484? Wasn't a 484, right? It was the 440. The S440. So 440 cubic edge engine. 0 to 60, 4.1 seconds, which is absolutely insane. The previous one did it in 5. Whoa, how times have changed. That weighed 2,500. This weighs 2,100, so it's way lighter. MPGs actually stayed the same, but 0 to 60 is about a second quicker. Top speed also is 30 miles an hour, 32 miles an hour quicker, and it's got 30 more horsepower, but it's actually got 30 less pound-feet of torque. Just crazy, but it's there. The ultra wealthy. Give it higher coating quality. That's really all we can do for this thing to make it better. There we go. The Harriet Turismo S440. Let's go on to Blackwood. We have 3 cars, the Coaster, Marshall, and the Continental. Coaster, quite easy. Go for the B series, give it the same small engine, and a 3-speed automatic. Now, I think we'll keep this the same through the 70s. It can stay the same through 60s and 70s. By the late 70s, it will be dated. That's for sure. So the next generation will come on the 80s. Blackwood is still old-fashioned. They're a luxury brand. They don't care what most stylish. They are just luxury, you know? The Coaster moves on for one more generation. Giving it another 3-speed auto. We're going to call this the Coaster, the F, and the FTL. The FT, which is like fleet trim. I don't know what FT is, but FTL is faster than light. So a little nicer. 0-60 at under 10 seconds, not bad. And then the FTL will be a V8 engine and a 5-speed manual, which is pretty sporty. 7 seconds to 60. And for the wealthy, increase the quality of some things. Increase the safety. It's gonna add some weight, but we are already quite quick. Let's go like that again. Not bad. So, 0-67.5 seconds can do 150 miles an hour. Now, I think for like a compact or like a compact luxury sedan, like the top end flagship, it's not bad. It's pretty good power. It's very light. Actually, 3,800 pounds is actually heavy though, but you know, there we go. Bit of a facelift, just a nip and tuck of this thing, and we're gonna go ahead and design that from the 70s to the 80s. So, the Blackwood Marshall. Give it 2 V8s. Give 2 3-speed automatics, the FT, and the FTL. The 5-speed only goes for the top-end trims. Let's give it more reliability. Let's give it more utility. It's actually pretty important. Then, whatever we can. Okay, there we go. There's the FT, the upper class. And the wealthy get the 372 cubic inch engine. Now on to the last Blackwood, the Continental. This is the Mac Daddy. It's going to get only V8s, up to a 7.2 liter 600 horsepower V8, which would be crazy, to be honest, absolutely insane, but we're going to do it because Blackwood doesn't care. We'll give it 1 3-speed automatic. Now this thing maybe looks a little bit dated, but I think we can actually keep this thing going. The flagship car doesn't really need to change all that much, to be honest. We could update the taillights. There we go. There is the, just call it facelift, to be honest, facelift. So it's just a nip and tuck. Looks very similar now. Different taillights, different exhaust, and different wheels, basically. The Continental. Let's finish it also in 2 years. And that's for the upper. So it's already for the upper echelon people. Let's give it a 372 cubic inch engine and give it a 5-speed manual for the FT. I know, it's not crazy. This is a car you get chauffeured in, so it doesn't really matter if it's the automatic or a manual, but, you know, as long as you can go very fast when you need to, that's the important part. Let's save it. I'm going to jump forward. Let's actually start opening dealerships in and around the area, because in 6 months we'll have these anyways. And we are limited to how much branches we can open per month anyway. So let's do this and start opening new branches in wherever we want, basically, I guess. Let's go with some Korea. And Japan, mostly. Let's go for Singapore, because they're quite rich. Philippines is doing okay, but Japan is a lot, but Japan has lots more competition, so that's why I'm not doing too much Japan right now. Finally, all the cars are developed for Blackwood and Harriet. We're going to go ahead now and just go and cancel all the old ones and start selling the new ones. So just please don't work. Game. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and cancel the old ones. Just stop selling all of them. Don't even look at them. We got to go ahead and price them now. So I'm not really pricing based off like realistic car pricing, I don't think anyways. We're just sort of doing what they sell for and what we can profit off them. Let's go to Harriet first. There are expensive ones, 20,000. So quite expensive, and then the Champions is going to be like 35,000 or 40,000 even. Expensive. An expensive car, obviously. It's a top tier supercar, the fastest car in the world when it came out. There we go, not bad. Now, I've got the new dealerships open. Let's also go ahead and make sure our Blackwoods are being sold as well. We've got to make a new generation Blackwood right up next. The Cressada is not selling that well. The Maxi is not selling that well, at least in Winnipeg. Now there's the Maximus. Neither is the Mayhem or the Thaden or the Microwave. What maybe it is selling good? The Super Sport is okay. It's the only supercar for sale. That's why it's selling good. None of our Maven cars are really top tier selling in Winnipeg, which is the capital, which is the headquarters of Maven itself. Let's see how good everything else is selling though. Hopefully it's good. If not, I'm probably going to cry. So, the Coaster selling quite good, starting off strong with about 7,500 or so, which is decent. Not bad. Oh, the MSR, it's a great selling sports car. What's our lowest selling? The Champion's still 125 units a month, which is crazy. We are in the black end with profits. We were a little sketchy back then, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Our profits are diminishing a bit. Just a bit. Asia is not the most profitable currently. Like if we go, for example, to Bangkok, we are losing $2 million, mostly due to transportation costs. We're actually going to close our dealership in Bangkok for now. What about in Jakarta? Losing $1 million. We're selling a good bit of cars, but honestly, it's not really profitable. And here we are losing a bit as well. So let's leave here for now. Manila, it's still not that profitable. Like Seoul is doing okay. Like Tokyo, for example, is doing fine. So that's going to cut some losses, hopefully. We're also cutting some units sold, which is not great. Some other cities that aren't doing so well. Let's take a look at Turkey. Turkey is losing a little bit. This place in Russia, not doing that great. But overall, we're doing okay. So now we've got all of the Blackwood and Harriet vehicles ready to go, the next generation. We are making money. Things are looking up. We're going to sim just a few more months. We're going to sim 3 months and just sort of hang out here for a second. Hopefully, we're making good money, because it was a very expensive new generation. It's going to get more expensive as time goes on. We're also spending millions of dollars on R&D every month. I want to make a faster car. I know. We made the fastest car, but it was the fastest car for literally a year only. So all the R&D is going into a tuned engine, supercharged V8 engine, 730 horsepower. I want to have like the land speed record car. What's the current fastest car? It is the EGAG9504. That's the new fastest car. Stupid name. We do have the most horsepower of any car ever. We do have the most torque of any car ever. We don't have the highest top speed, though. Our body is not as aerodynamic, I guess, as the AI's body. So we're going to go ahead and modify the engine, and we're going to go for gasoline instead. Okay, so that's all fine. We're making good power. Engine's costing 7,000. We're going to call this the A440R. So this is me, like the high-end, top-of-the-line engine. As good as we possibly can go. So instead of simming through the entire thing and getting the high-performance Harriets, then we're going to go ahead and actually start redesigning the next generation Maven vehicles. Now, sales are dipping of everything. We are losing a bit of money due to mostly taxes. We do have money in R&D and stuff. We could actually go ahead and probably cancel our research for now. Engine skill. All this skill has been increased quite a bit. Let's actually decrease the chassis skill and decrease this, probably. It's decreasing. We don't want to decrease it. We want to increase it, to be honest. Let's just bring it down a little bit. Because, yeah, money is a little bit tight. Only have a couple $100 million in the bank. We got to go ahead and modify these things to have the next generation engines. We're just going to make a brand new EcoSport engine. Probably the same engines as before. I think we'll downsize, actually, everything. There we go. So we've got our engines for Maven. We've got a 2-liter, 2.4, a 3-liter, a 3.3, a 4-liter. Which are pretty good engines. So the 4-liter is going to go with the sports car, probably along with the 3-liter supercharged inline-4. So we got the cheap one, we got the expensive one. They both get pretty abysmal fuel economy. The inline-6 does okay. We could probably put that in the sports car too, to be honest. We got this big Mac Daddy for our hypercar, basically, at the time. Supercharged V8. We got a supercharged inline-4. We got nothing else that's supercharged here. So yes, we still are losing money. Lost about 150 million in the rest of the year. Not tons of money lost. I think we'll be okay now. We do have lots of stuff R&D done. We do need to go ahead, though, actually, and go to outsource all the parts. We got to go ahead and outsource our parts. Because, yeah, we got to make some extra cash if we can here. So the trick is, my trick that I found at least, is make sure you have no signing fee. So how this works is basically you have your parts that you could sell to other companies. So right now, for example, Ford could buy a license to use my chassis or my engines, etc. And by default, you will charge an upfront fee. So this default fee, it's guessing that it should be around 3 million. I'm not going to have it. I just want the royalties. So it makes from what I found, it makes the companies more likely to want to, like, sign up. So Blackwood still uses the cubic inch displacement for the names. They ain't downsizing, no. They ain't no crybabies. They ain't downsizing engines. Let's go modify vehicle here. I want to modify the Champions. It's going to have the chassis HR. It's going to have the AR, the A440R, and an upgraded 6-speed manual. Now, how fast does it go? 229. Is that the fastest car? Oh my god. Is that 1 mile an hour faster only again? 1 mile an hour faster. Nice. There we go. Okay. We now have the new land speed record for a production car by 1 mile per hour, which is hilarious. We've got the best-selling car of all time, the Maven Maxi. the SP, which is now the best-selling car of all time. We have fastest 0 to 60 time, fastest 0 to 100 km/h time. We've got the highest torque, highest horsepower, the best weight to horsepower ratio. We've got no longer the heaviest car, which is fine. What record do we want to go for next? I want to go for fuel economy. This one gets 62 mpg, the green dot, 737, the 7370 Y7183. Dumb name. How close are we to getting that? The Maxi. The Maxi is our small car. So it gets around 24 mpg, which is fine. I want to break into 30 mpg with this generation. I think we can. The Micro gets 27, which is selling kind of okay. It's only subcompact. The Maxi, we got the Maximus. How are sales doing? Sales are actually quite stable. Mayhem, sales are quite stable. They're actually still more than when they started production. The MSR, doing very good. Sales are increasing literally year on year. Yeah, literally every single year they've been increasing. Not bad at all. I think I'm actually more proud of the Turismo. It just looks cool style-wise. I think this will be the thumbnail next to the Harriet, probably. We'll finish off here. If you guys want to see more Gearcity, let me know in the comments down below. I know this game is pretty gosh darn daunting, and I probably went over it too fast. If I did, let me know, and I'll try to slow it down next time. I haven't played this game for a video for a long time, and I'm probably talking too fast, which is also great. Join the Discord link in the description down below. But before we finish off, I just want to give a huge shout out to my Quad Turbo members or higher. Thank you so much to Childish Sin, Ruben, and DD, man. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much to everyone else as well who are supporting the channel by joining my YouTube memberships. If you guys want to see exclusive content and stuff, make sure to join my YouTube membership link down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, as always, I'll see you next time.